Part 2, testing my new art supplies. Okay, so I'm going to do some pink roses in a glass vase with quite a muted grey background. I'm not going to time it today. I get fed up sometimes timing it and trying to rush. I'll try and stick it to 3 phases. So we'll do the blocking in background phase, and then we'll do some temperature phases, which will bring in a little bit more temperature and detail, and then we'll do the final phase. So I'm going to stick to these colours. Hopefully this will be the whole palette. So we've got some black, sap green, phthalo turquoise, quinacridone magenta, cadmium red deep hue. This is my new purple lake, which was in my other demo video, which I'll show you, which I'll link to at the end. Some titanium white, and I thought I might try the Michael Harding, which is also new in the shopping haul video that I had also done, which I've put up. I might see how this brightens these reds for the various, because you know, deep pink, red roses, purpley roses, they're very difficult to do. So the more tricks you have up your sleeve for variations in tone and what have you, the better. But I think mostly it's probably going to be these. I'm going to try these purple lake and the whites. We'll see how we progress. Anyway, I'm going to start off with my bigger new brush, which, as you can see, I've already used, and with my new little scrapey thing, it's come out. Most of the paint now has come out of there, so you see how that works. We'll give it a quick wipe with the brush or with the tissue now, but at least the tissue isn't going to be totally full. And I'm going to use these longer brushes because I'm trying to keep the paint off my hands due to this dreadful eczema, which I think might have something to do with the pollen count, because it really flared up yesterday over the weekend when I was gardening. So it's possibly not the oil paints at all, and it is more likely gardening. Okay, so we're just going to do it on this paper that I normally do, and I'm going to start with making a grey for the background. And I'm actually going to warm it up with the Michael Harding. So we've got a nice golden, warm grey, and you know, so this is the first time I've used this brush. Actually, I really like it. It's got a nice, adds a nice texture. It's almost like a green with that yellow in it. The Michael Harding, I don't know, that is a good paint, because the others are just Winsor & Newton, but I already feel, even just by adding that I have a better quality paint. I don't know, could be imagining it. I'm going to add a little bit more white and a touch of the purple lake now, because I just want to vary it slightly so that it's not the same all over. And it cooled it down a bit there. I actually really like these brushes as well. Yeah, it's so cheap as well. Yeah, really nice. Okay, take a bit more of the Michael Harding, the black, the white, and some purple lake. Bit more black, a little bit too purpley there. Now I've got to think about how I want. So I think, yeah, I think we'll have this lighter colour down here where the bowl will be, and I think we'll just have it just on a slight jaunty angle there. Just loosen this up a little bit with some oil. I don't know whether these brushes might be a bit too rough and ready for the flowers, but they certainly are good for adding a bit of texture and getting good coverage on the... Right, So I'm going to get a little bit more of the grey, the black rather, to just give me some. Now, what sort of bowl? I think I'm going to have a kind of I don't want it to be too big. I tend to draw them too big and then I don't feel there's enough space around the... It's fine if you want to fill up, if that's your style, but sometimes if you're doing a still life, I think a bit of space around your, you know, around your flowers is good. I'm going to use a bit of my sap green now, and a bit of black. So I'm just going to mix into the background mixture, because I just want to get some idea now where my darker, I'm going to put some, so I'm just really feeling around where everything's going to go. I don't have a picture, I just have various source pictures and I'm using them to club together my own painting because I don't have, I didn't pick any roses this morning, and also I'm doing a, I'm building a little area where I can put my flowers, a little box area with lighting, and I left it out last night because I went out and it got wet, and now I'm going to have to wait for it to dry before I can do anything else with it and bring it in, because I don't know, I wasn't expecting it to rain, and it did. So I think that's going to be, we're going to have some greenery in here, and then I'm going to roughly block in, and I'm going to use the quinacridone magenta on its own, but slightly watered down, to just block in where I want my flowers. I'm just going to whiten it up because some of the flowers, actually these are probably going to be more pink actually than red when I think about it. So just blocking them in at the moment. This isn't, I quite like the way this, I'm going to paint with this brush the whole way through, because I actually quite like the way it breaks it up. We'll see what the finished painting looks like. I actually quite like the way it has stray marks, kind of maybe gives it a bit of a impressionist, contemporary feel. Now I'm just going to add a touch of the blue, the phthalo turquoise rather, and when I say a touch I mean a lot less than I just added, and a bit of white, because some of the flowers are receding and so therefore are more on the bluey. I'm just getting used to this brush, got too much white in there, look. A little bit more on the grey, bluey side. Now it's difficult to know because I thought it was the Michael Harding that was making me excited, but I think the brushes are actually, I like these scratchy brushes. I like this kind of scratchy. I don't know whether I'm going to finish with it, to be honest, but I like it for blocking in. So I'm going to get some of the Purple Lake now. I'm going to mix that with the quinacridone magenta to do my darker areas of these flowers. Let's get these marked in. So this dark area almost comes down, and we have dark here and here. That rose is facing up, so there's also dark here. And then we have dark, so I'm going to use my Purple Lake again. So in my other video that I refer to, I went shopping yesterday and I bought some colours I went to a proper art shop, a local art shop in Canterbury in England, and I bought some new colours. And because it was a proper art shop, it had a massive range, probably not the biggest in the world, but certainly better than I've seen in a long time, of paints and colours. And so I was delighted to be able to bring some home. Well, I tried a new one, which was this Purple Lake, and the Michael Harding. I treated myself to the Michael Harding Indian Yellow. And I was delighted to report back that they were cheaper than Amazon, which is where I've been buying, Amazon and Hobbycraft, where I've been buying a lot of my paints. So, you know, go local. I'm just adding a touch of white now to differentiate. I'm going to stick with this rough brush because, you know, why not experiment? I'm just going to see, it gives a really nice streak in the petal there. I really like that. Let me just close up on that for you. So you can see the streaks there. I'm actually really liking that. So I'm going to continue with that. Oops. Yeah, so I was pleasantly surprised. My children were, I gave them money to buy whatever they wanted, clothes and things for school, and for, not just for school, but for, you know, they just basically went shopping. And I've got to be honest, it was a bit miserable with the whole face mask and queuing. I can't say I really enjoyed it, but of course the art shop was different because it wasn't busy, so I didn't have to worry about queuing. And the face mask was, I don't like them. I mean, I've got one of those paper ones because I don't go out very often. I'm always working or whatever. I only have one of those paper ones, and they're horrible. You kind of breathe them in. So I can't say I really enjoyed that. And we couldn't have impromptu sit-down meals. We had to phone everywhere because there were queues, and this is just all different. I just hadn't expected it to be like that, so I was a bit disappointed. I can't see how that's going to revive shopping, but I don't know, you know, anyway. But, you know, the children got what they wanted and I got what I wanted. So I will definitely, despite the inconvenience, I will definitely be shopping at the art shop again anyway. I'll definitely support that. So I'm just now adding a bit of red. So what I'm doing now is, I guess I'm already doing the second stage of the painting. So we blocked in the background, and we blocked in where everything was roughly going to go. And now I'm kind of thinking about temperature. So on some of the roses down here, you've got more shady temperatures. So you've got a more darker, they're not even really darker, they're just cooler colours. And then you've got where the light is shining, you've got warmer values. That's just what I'm thinking about now. So whether to be cooling down colours or warming them up. So I'm warming up my quinacridone magenta with a bit of red for these warmer areas, and then I will cool it down either with the phthalo turquoise, but probably also a little bit of black, and to grey it, because I don't want it to be black, so I may add titanium white. We'll see. You just have to play with it, really. So this side here is cooler, so it's more purpley over here than this side here. So I'm going to add the phthalo turquoise to some of the purple madder and then add the quinacridone magenta to get that cooler. I really like the way this brush breaks it up, actually. You can't be precise with it, but I don't know whether I really am bothered that it need to be precise. I kind of like the way it mists out, if you like. And then we have lighter. It's a slightly different way of painting, so it is making me struggle a little bit more than I would. Oh, I do not want that on there, although there is red on there. I just caught that by accident next to the pile that I was picking up. That's okay, because I do, actually I can just move it because I do want it here, strangely enough. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm actually just going to move a little bit around the painting because I'm feeling it's unbalanced. So I'm going to put in, clean off my brush, and the lighting that I need to make these videos creates a terrible glare on the paint my end. So I really struggle to see. So I'm just going to put in some nice darks where the foliage is, to give this, you know, some cement, if you like. It's very wintry today. We've had a pretty good summer, which is just as well, considering the blooming awful problems we've had across the globe. I'm just, like most people probably, I feel quite fed up of it, I've got to be honest. I was pretty philosophical phlegmatic, whatever you want to say, when it first started. But I gotta say, I'm done with it now. I would really like to. I'm just so worried for the children's education, and you know, a lot of political nonsense, always spoiling everything. Anyway, I'm not going to get political. I'm sure you all just feel as down in the dumps and done with it as I do. So just giving myself a little bit of form there. And some sort of depth here, so that the vase is grounded. And if we're going to put our shadow this side, we can also have a little bit of shadow up the side of the glass there. Maybe even a bit there. I think my dogs suffered the most. Poor lamb. I mean, I've got 2 dogs, but one is quite new, so she makes no real difference to her, because she's just like, well, this is how it's always been. she's only just a year old, so this is her first real summer with us. So she knows no different. But my other dog, who is 5 and will be actually 6 in September, he's had a very good social life. He had lots of doggy friends and lots of dog walks. You know, after I drop the kids from school, I take him for a big dog walk, and he meets all his doggy friends in the morning. And we haven't done any of that. He's been going out, of course, but it's all been different stuff that we've been doing, and I don't know. I just feel a bit sorry for him, really. He just seems a little bit lost. So when the kids go back to school, I'm going to be quite happy to take him on his little walk. See, hopefully his friends will still be there. His doggy friends, you know, they're not kind of friends you necessarily meet up with outside of dog walking, but you don't realise because you've been meeting them every day, so you don't, you know, he's just going to miss that. I think he's missed it, is what I'm saying. Bless him. Whereas the other one, she doesn't make any difference to her. She doesn't know any different. Yeah, it's definitely different working with this brush. I like it. I like the rough bristles. I like this kind of impressionist feel. I do. I'm keen on it. I like it. I'm just going to put a little bit of highlight, which I'm going to just add a bit of the phthalo blue to. Maybe a bit up here. It's a little bit scratchy for that, but it might just be nothing that a bit of oil can't. I don't want that to be quite so broken up, that. So that's going to take a little bit of getting used to, that, I think. Or maybe that's the time I go onto a different brush. But I really do like to keep painting simple. I just, you know, if you're new particularly, it just, you know, I'm using one brush and a handful of paints and even some paper, not even a canvas. So, you know, this is what I'm saying is, don't be put off thinking oil painting is, you know, some sort of epic, expensive hobby. It needn't be. It needn't be at all. I'm actually going to not do much more now. I'm going to now just focus on the flowers, and everything else will stay soft focus. In fact, actually, largely the flowers will remain soft focus, but I'm just going to add a little bit more variation to the roses, just to differentiate some of the petals and layers and lights and darks that are obvious, apparent in roses. Don't know what that was. Well, I mean, I do know what it was, but I don't know why that was there, beeping like that. I think when you also don't really know how the brush is going to work, it's quite good for roses, because, you know, the petals are so complex that you can't, you almost can't, what's the word, contrive it too much, I think is what I'm trying to say, that you can't be too contrived. It's almost kind of just doing what it wants. I would recommend you pin your paper down, which I normally do, but I didn't. You can just use the corners, you don't always need to use the whole brush. I think maybe I would prefer a little bit more detail, you know, a little bit more of a finer brush, but I'm experimenting, so I'm going to stick with this one. But I am sort of getting to a stage where I think I'm struggling a bit now to get the effects that I want, but maybe not. We'll keep going. We will persevere. I can't use my fingers because of my eczema. I'm so tempted. And what you need to do, I'm using my Purple Lake now to restate my darker areas. I've got a bit of white in there, so I need to get rid of that. I don't want black, because black is too dull and will kill it, especially a flower. So I'm just going to restate some darker areas with this Purple Lake, just neat and thick. Like so. I'm going to get some more pink, neat pink, to restate. This is the neat quinacridone magenta now. I'm just going to use to restate some of these mid values and to add chromium, as people say. To these bright parts of the rose. And then just a touch of white to the quinacridone magenta, nothing else, to just add a brighter flash of pink. I think I'm kind of going to wrap it up really, because I just want to leave it, as I say, quite broken up and impressionist anyway. So I don't really, I don't think I really want to do anything more. Than that. You know, it's quite a new style for me, because it's this brush is very scratchy, but I can't say I'm that unhappy with it for a quick practice, for a quick experiment. I'll restate that a little bit. I think that should be a little bit darker. I actually quite like it, so I think maybe I could have done with a smaller brush for some of the details, but as you can see, the brush strokes are much rougher and broken up, which is so rustic. Look at that, it's quite rough, but I actually quite like that, I think. So that's it said it was hog hair, but I can't believe it's actual hog hair, because I probably wouldn't buy it if it was. And also it's £2.50, so I suspect it's probably a synthetic attempt. But I mean, I really like these. Let's see if I can focus in a bit better. I really like these kind of rough brush strokes. I don't know, what do you think? Anyway, there you go, that was my new brushes and a trial of my Purple Lake Winsor & Newton paint. I hope you liked it. See you again soon. Bye.